What is up, everyone? Welcome back to the Engineers Without Filters podcast, episode 107. I'm your host, Jacob Thompson, and tonight I'm drinking another one of the truly iced teas. I'm still working through these bad boys from my fridge. Tonight we're doing the peach variety. And after some more time with the truly teas, they're fine. You know, they're pretty inoffensive. I'm not in love with them. I don't hate them. I like them better than the truly lemonades, but I don't know.
Yeah. All right. I'm Joseph, and tonight I'm still drinking Hop Slam. This is the last Hop Slam from the first time I bought it this year. So that means tomorrow I'm going to buy more.
There we go.
Baby.
Fair enough. Well, I'm Gabe, and I'm drinking the Voodoo Ranger Juicy Haze IPA. The same one that I think
I had it
Jacob
last week,
and
yeah.
Joseph have also had.
It's
Pretty
fucking good.
solid brew. I'm a big fan. It's got IPA and juicy. I like both those things.
Yep. And I'm Dayton, and I am also drinking the truly iced tea lemonades, or lemon iced tea, whatever the fuck they're called. I don't know.
The
Same
lemon
thing.
flavored iced tea.
Same thing Jacob's drinking. You know what's up.
You know what's up.
I was just thinking, if we ever get to the point where we can like have a brewery like sponsor us and they want to make us a beer, it's got to be a juicy hazy IPA. Like there's nothing else it could possibly be.
I don't know what else you'd call it.
That and a seltzer. It's got to be a pairing. You know.
We've got our eyes set on the stars, boys. We're getting sponsored by a fucking brewery.
I think we need to focus on making enough money to pay for the hosting fee first.
No, that's
Let's go straight for the beer. Fuck it.
That's ridiculous.
We're getting closer to Twitch affiliate. You know. Hopefully someday we'll get that ad revenue.
You say that, Jacob.
It's a lot easier than getting ads on YouTube. So
That is true. Very true.
welcome back to the podcast, everyone. As always, you can find our show on Mondays on YouTube and podcast services. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram at ewfpodcast, and go and follow us on Twitch, where we're live right now. ewf_podcast. On Thursday nights, we're streaming episodes of podcast live, and on Monday nights, we're playing Deep Rock Galactic. I was gonna say we're playing games, but I mean, come on, we're essentially Deep Rock Galactic streamers now. We fucking love this game. We'll probably play it some more. But yeah, if you want to come watch that, it's at 8 p.m. Eastern on Monday and Thursday. So come check us out. Give us that follow. It helps us out a lot. And yeah, you can see stuff early. All right. First off, Joseph and Gabe, you missed the Monday stream this week because you were somewhere else. How'd your little trip go?
Was pretty fucking damn fun. We caught up with our buddy Tristan, which I say we haven't really talked to him a whole lot in school, but he was super friendly and super nice, and we picked up some of his lingo.
Yeah.
We got a new saying that me and Joseph have been throwing around all week, and instead of like the shit slaps, like he'd like, oh, the shit fucks, and now it's like always say like, oh yeah, dude, this beer fucks, like.
And I picked up on it when he picked us up, because he picked us up at the motel we were staying at, and he has like a 4Runner, which like everyone in Jackson has. We went to Jackson, Wyoming skiing, but everyone drives like a 4Runner or a Subaru.
So many 4Runners.
Those are like the only two cars you see, and he's like, "Oh yeah, dude, 4Runners fuck," and I was like, "Huh." Interesting. And then like he said about some other shit, and we're like,
yeah,
okay,
we're talking about like places we were gonna go and shit. He's like, oh, that shit fucks, you'll love it. It's like, oh, okay. That's quite the review.
I wonder if that's from
Silicon Valley.
Well, yeah, Silicon Valley, where
Yeah.
the one that goes, this guy fucks.
I think that's what it's from. But I don't know. I'd have to ask him. It's a good time.
Yeah, I saw your Instagram post, Gabe, and I got so fucking jealous, dude. I was like, I want to ski so bad.
Oh my god, it was. I mean, that's the first time I've ever been out there, and that was. Whew, I can't go back. I gotta move. It's the only option.
Yeah.
We took a fucking. We had a miscalculation, and we were gonna go to a place, which we thought was 45 minutes away. was an hour and 15, and there's a city called Teton Village and one called Teton Valley, and I didn't know they were separate. So we thought we could take a bus, and we ended up having to rent a car. So me and Joseph being cheap asses, right? We select the option where the rental agency, we go to the cheapest one. It's literally called like Dollar and Thrifty, like rental. Right? And they let you pick to save some money. It's like $100 you save. It's insane.
It's more than $100. The cheapest option is
you're right.
$160, $170.
Oh, yeah.
And so this option is $40.
And the reason you save this much money is because they pick the car, right? And I'm like, fuck it. Like, even if they give us a sedan, we're fucking gonna throw the boards in the back. It'll be fine. So, I get there and because it's in my name or whatever, and get it all set up. And she's like, we pick the Sienna. So I get a fucking Toyota Sienna with
Is
all
that a van?
seasons.
It's a minivan.
It's a minivan.
Yeah.
It's not all-wheel drive. It's a minivan with the cheapest all seasons I've seen in my entire fucking life. It is the dead of winter in this town, right? And to get to this resort, you need to take what's called the Teton Pass, which is a climb through the mountains. Like, literally, you're going through a mountain pass. And that was some of the sketchiest fucking driving I've ever done in my fucking life. There's a couple points where, like, it was a fucking Christmas tree. My dashboard was just flickering, like, no traction, no traction. It's like, I fucking know, Sienna. Do your fucking job. Where we'd, like, start to go, and then it would, like, once it caught traction, it would, like, kind of slip off to the side, and I just, like, had to stair step it. It was
That's sketchy.
Nightmare.
That's sketchy.
It's probably one of the cars that somebody drove in from another state, and like left it.
Oh my God.
And it's like, yeah, we'll give you this piece of
This
shit.
place wasn't big enough. It had a Wyoming
plate.
Oh, really?
I just assumed everything they rented would at least have snow tires. I didn't expect, but this is Dollar Thrifty rental. Of course, they're gonna save money. So that was sketchy, but that was a fun time. Got a good story out of it.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Time. This might be the first winter in a long time where I won't ski at all, which is, single tier.
It's a big sad.
Yeah. Next time, baby.
I cry Everton.
Money and free time. So let's get into topic tonight, boys. So this topic came out of, I thought of it because of Daft Punk breaking up this week.
R.I.P.
Big sad. Everyone's talking about them like they died, even though only one of them exploded. I don't know if you guys watched the video they put up. It's called Epilogue. It's just like an artsy video of them like being done, and like the whole thing is like they're robots or whatever. So it's like them walking in the desert, and one of them like turns around, the other like punches a code in his back, and he walks away and just explodes. All right. But Daft Punk's like not like a band that I've listened to frequently. But I have like a soft spot in my heart for them because my dad likes them a lot and would always play them when he was working out in the basement. So I would just hear them all the time, And so like all they're breaking up, so I'm like, I want to listen to Daft Punk, and just go back. Shit fucking slaps, dude. They're so good. Like, I've been specifically listening to their album Discovery, which was one of their first albums.
Discovery is I think, considered their best album.
Yeah, it's fucking fantastic. And also, I didn't know, so I was on YouTube. Well, I was on Twitter, and I was scrolling through, and I saw an animation video, and somebody had like a Daft Punk thing, so I clicked on it, and it was this animation of like this band playing One More Time. And it was like like an old school animation, like Yu Yu Hakusho style, Joseph. Some blue people just jamming out, and I'm like, oh, this is cool. Like somebody like dubbed over this video with the song, and it was like, no, it's like the actual music video in the comments. Like, what? So I go on YouTube, and for the whole album Discovery, there's like every song has a music video, and it's like this story going through the whole album of just like this animated thing of this band that gets kidnapped and does a bunch of shit. I haven't watched all of it yet, but I want to. It's super fun. And yeah, One More Time still fucking slaps. It can't be beat. So yeah, I was listening to Discovery, and then also fucking the Tron Legacy soundtrack is so goddamn good. Like, I watched that movie when I was a kid, and I really liked it. I mean, it's not a great movie, but it's fun. Got Jeff Bridges.
The CGI Jeff Bridges, dude.
That was bad. I watched we watched that my family in theaters. I really liked it. We went back and watched the original Tron. So fucking bad. It's so goddamn slow. It's like 3 hours long.
Oof.
Terrible. But Tron Legacy is fun, But yeah, I remember this movie a lot, and I listened to the soundtrack, and it's just fucking amazing. Daft Punk, you're the best. Um, but yeah, so anyway, all that aside, I was thinking, we haven't talked about music on the podcast in a while. The last time we talked about it was episode 5, where we talked about some of our favorite, like our journey through music and some different recommendations we had for people. So I thought, it's been 2 years. Let's give them some updates. I can't imagine we're all listening to the same exact songs. So I want to give the people an update, maybe some new recommendations, and just see what we listen to. So who am I going to send to first? I'm going to send it to Dayton. Dayton, what have you been listening to lately?
All right. Well, I guess I'm gonna first say that for people that know me, they know that I generally like electronic music is generally like my first pick. Um, Except I never got into Daft Punk. I just cannot enjoy their music for the life of me. I think it's just like too repetitive for me, and I think that just like turns me off from it. I'm more into like weird electronic music to like put it to put it I don't know simply. Just like stuff with like really weird samples, really weird beats, like off rhythm beats like every once in a while. Kind of shake things up. I like that. So I guess like, and I don't necessarily like lyrics a lot of the time too, which I think is kind of a product of 2020. Because obviously 2020 I was working from home a lot, and I would be listening to music pretty much from like 6:30 a.m. all the way up until I slept. And I'd turn it off if I like left my apartment or whatever. But I was working from home a lot, and I was home in my apartment a lot. So I had a lot of music that really didn't have a lot of lyrics in it. And I'm looking at my Spotify Wrapped right now, because I mean three of my top 5 artists are like electronic artists that don't have like lyrics in them really. The first, like number 2 being Mr. Bill, which these are artists that most of you probably like. I don't know. I know for a fact that you guys on the podcast haven't heard of Mr. Bill. Culprit. Joseph, you might have heard of Culprit.
I can't. I mean, I'm sure
I
if you
remember
showed me a song. Oh wait,
you played them at the house a couple times, so
Yeah.
I think we'd recognize if you played it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it sounds vaguely familiar.
And then Hudson Lee. He's a pretty small producer. I think out of like Vancouver or something. But I mean, like, I also do, I don't know, I have like pretty varied tastes in music. I listen to a lot of different like genres, but I don't, I predominantly stayed with electronic music that was lyricless. My top artist though of this year was Eden, and I was in the top 0.5% of listeners for him on Spotify. His new album, well, I say new right now,
Most recent.
but his most recent album is like really good. I give that a very heavy recommendation to anybody. And then also Casbo, his most recent album, which is I think called Making a Paracosm, is very good as well. Like the entire album, just front to back, awesome. Same thing with Eden's album, front to back, amazing.
Only
But
we could have seen them live. Thanks, COVID.
I know,
Oh yeah, we were gonna go see Eden.
Yeah.
I know,
we
dude.
I
had those
still have the
tickets.
CD. I have the CD in my car still.
I know, dude. I really am bummed that I didn't get to see him this year. But it is what it is, I guess. Do you guys
So,
have your
Dayton,
spot? What?
I was going to ask you, so you mentioned you've been doing no lyrics more lately. Is that a change that was mostly just with 2020, or like is that different from? 'Cause I'm curious in like how our stuff has changed in the past like 2 years of the podcast, essentially. So like back in like 2019, were you doing more lyrics, or is this pretty
Um,
like similar to how you've been going recently?
I mean, I would say that more recently I've been doing more music with less lyrics, just because I find it easier to focus on my work. Um,
Okay.
but I mean, I still listen to a lot of music without lyrics back then. I mean, like when I first started getting into Spotify, I actually like broke up my music into music with lyrics and music without lyrics, and that was like I don't know, back in like 2016 or something. Um, so I mean, it's not like a new thing for me to listen to lyricless music.
Right. Well, I totally agree that if you're doing like any kind of work, it makes it way easier if you have no lyrics. If you have lyrics, you're gonna kind of latch onto them and then
Yep.
get distracted very easily.
Definitely. And then I've got my Spotify Wrap pulled up still. So if you guys have your Spotify Wrapped at all, I'd be curious to see what yours are. But this year I listened to 95,000 minutes on Spotify. And my top genre was, and I don't know what the fuck this genre is, Vapor Twitch.
Vapor Twitch.
I
Well,
don't know what that is.
So we talked about this. So I re-listened to the previous music episode today just to like make sure we don't repeat anything insane. But you mentioned in that episode that especially in the EDM scene, like some of the genre names just get fucking like super wacky and it gets super like niche, and it's just like, okay, it's almost unhelpful at this point.
In a lot of the times, like there's literally like there's no like hard defining like boundaries on these things, right? Like somebody might be like, oh bro, like this is a really good like drum and bass song, but then another person might be like, nah bro, that's rhythm. And it's just like, or it's like, bro, this is bro step, or it's like, no dude, this is dubstep. And it's just like, dude, I don't care, I like the music. That's
Don't put me in a box.
yeah. And I did look up the Vapor Twitch. There's like a Spotify has like a Vapor Twitch playlist for like the genre, and I've like listened through it, and I can't pick out any like one thing that like unites them all. Like the BPMs are all like all over the place. Like there's not like any big like design or defining like feature of them. Like it's not like they're super synth heavy or super like drum or like anything like that heavy. And it's just, I don't know, I don't fucking understand it.
There's a lot of jokes in the show Letterkenny, which I know all of us watch to some extent, except maybe Gabe. There's like the Skids are like a group in that show who are like super into like fucking just weird ass music, and they'll just start listing these like insane genre names like Jamaican like acid house, or like it's just like just fucking this nonsensical shit. And part of me's like, this is probably an actual thing. Like,
well, I know for a fact that acid house is a thing. I don't know if Jamaican acid house is the thing. Yeah.
But yeah, just like shit like that is so funny to me. But you know, is what it is. Speaking of those genres, Joseph, weren't you telling me back when we lived together, you started following a bunch of playlists on Spotify that were like specific?
Yes,
genres?
I have. I can post a link to the guy who made all these, but he made a bunch of introductory playlists for different genres of music, and I followed a couple of them. I can see. Oh yeah, I've got Chill Wave. Oh, I've got the guy right here, so I can read some of his public playlists. He has like hundreds of playlists. But like to list off a few, he's got barbershop, baroque pop, blues, chill wave, dance pop, glam rock, folk. He's got some like interesting like electronic stuff too. If I can find new wave, new disco, but new is spelled N-U.
Dude, new disco, I like that stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
there's a lot of, well, it's cool because he's got like just a bunch of different just weird genres that you might not listen to. And like it's only like if I click on post grunge, for example, it's only 21 songs.
I like post grunge.
Yeah, it's like Foo Fighters, Nickelback,
Nickelback, dude, let's go.
Keyan. I can send a link, or we can post a link with it. Yeah. But like, I don't know, it's like 21 songs, and he like in the, because I found it on Reddit. He's like, this is just like an introduction. This is not like the best. This is not the end all be all. This is just like, hey, if you want to get into this music, this is kind of what it sounds like, and then you can like, you know, kind of find other stuff within there. Noise pop. Yeah, there's a lot of,
I don't even know what half of those sound like off the top of my head.
Yeah, like, I don't know, it's interesting, and I've gone through a couple of them. I follow Chill Wave, which I've really liked. and boom bap, which is like, do you remember that song Max used to sing that goes like, hey, yo, hey,
Oh,
yo?
yes.
I think it's on our Darty
It is. I was
playlist.
just listening to that earlier today, actually.
Yeah, you know, I saw you on Spotify and I was like, that's on that playlist. That song's on that playlist, like 3 songs in a row. But yeah, that's a boom bap song.
You find the name of that song, Dayton? Just
Yeah.
It's called
like-
Hey Yo, I think.
Yeah, I can pull it up real quick.
Or Hey Yo.
I feel like that kind of I don't know what you'd call it, like that shouting, the hey, like the call and response stuff is pretty. Everyone's kind of heard something like that in their lives.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, it's a cool art. Well, not even art. It's just a person to follow, and then
No,
you can
it's
go
it's
through.
Hip Hip Hooray by Naughty
Hip
by
Hip
Nature.
Hooray. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Naughty by Nature.
Yeah.
Chip tune. That's a.
No.
You don't like chip? Isn't that all like?
It's not this video game
MIDI?
shit.
I think it's MIDI music, like MIDI, right?
I can't remember. I know that I've listened to it and I just hate it.
Okay, so here's the description for it. Chiptune, also known as chip music or 8-bit music, is a
Yeah.
style of synthesized electronic music made using the PSG sound chips found in vintage arcade machines, computers, and video game
I
consoles.
hate it. I hate it.
I like that shit. I think it's super like creative and clever, especially when they use like samples from specific games. I think I'd like that a little bit more because it's a little more recognizable.
Mhm.
I'm a fan of chiptune stuff.
There's some
Gabe,
good ones.
Gabe, where you been at lately? What's been going in your headphones?
Oh man, you guys know what stuff I've been into because I don't shut the fuck up about it.
Yep.
Definitely still in the rock and metal type of stuff. Just kind of expanding on that. I've been going back. I think I've been going on both extremes. I think I've been going back to see like kind of where a lot of stuff came from. Like I got still am super into Black Sabbath stuff. Just because I don't know, that stuff still stands the test of time, and it's so. I mean, it's so for the time it was like unheard of, right? Like they're considered the first metal band, I guess. And it's so cool to see like the raw, like simple stuff, but it's so effective. Like a lot of the stuff they're not doing anything crazy, but it just works so well. And then on the other end of it, I'm listening to these really like long, complex, like progressive metal, I guess is technically the box if you want to put it into that type of stuff. So like definitely you guys have heard me talk about it all the time. I've been listening to a ton of Tool. I listened like that became my top artist so quickly. Like they weren't even in my top 5 the last 3 years until last year, and literally like my top 4 of my 5 songs are 12-minute songs by Tool. I fucking love them. I love like the build up, and like I don't know, it's just very like ethereal, I guess, and you just kind of build up and then you get this really cool payoff. I really like that. What else?
What about Alter Bridge?
Oh yeah, band T-shirt.
I was saying, you can usually tell what Gabe's listening to by the shirt he's wearing. You got a lot of
I
band.
actually haven't been. I wear so many band tees. I haven't been listening to a ton of Alter Bridge lately. Actually, I've been into different stuff. They still made the top 5, but been listening to other stuff. Got super in Mastodon, which is just. Oh my god, that band rips! Like they fuck.
Do they fuck?
They absolutely fuck. And the reason they're so cool is like, so that 3 of them sing, which is super unique. I think like you get a lot of different voices, and it took me a really long time to like all of them, because like originally I was like only this guy is good, and then kind of ended up acquiring the taste of the other ones. But they're not afraid to like change their sound up at all. They kind of have they're all over the map. They have like the progressive metal stuff. Their first 2 albums are like ridiculously stupid heavy with like a decent amount of screaming, and I never listened to them like ever until like very recently. I had just been really digging it because it's just so fucking brutal and like aggressive. And unlike Dayton, I love that shit. Like that helps me focus, is like listening to like super aggressive like pump up shit, like oh, time to work, whip out the laptop. I don't know.
It's
But
amazing
then-
what you can get used to. Like you mentioned, like the screamo type music. Like
yeah.
at first it's like I don't know, but like the more times you listen to it, like you know what, I'm starting to get it, and then you're like, okay, I'm all in.
It's definitely an acquired taste, and I didn't think I would ever like the first time I listened to this album, like it's always on their list. Is like this is their best album, right? It's their take on Moby Dick, I guess, and it's like a concept album, but there's just a lot of screaming, and I'm like I can't do this. And then like a year later, I'm like this shit fucks. Like every fucking song is so savage. It's just so like in your face and punchy, and I really like it.
Oh yeah, dude.
The two extremes I've been going to: old school shit, Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, and then like super heavy, weird proggy, like trippy
Proggy,
shit.
dude, you're fucking full into this lingo now too.
Well, I said progressive fully because now everyone knows. I know what box I'm in. All right, I'm cool with it.
Joseph and Dave, do you guys listen to a lot of like quote unquote old music? Because like I personally don't. I don't really. All my stuff's pretty modern. Like it, 2000s at the earliest. I think.
I really like 80s music. I
I
like
know, because I follow your 50 most recent added
Uh-huh.
songs, and
Yeah.
every once in a while it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's just
there's
like a
one song
random
that just doesn't fit.
yeah, like there's like sometimes like I'll hear like a song like in like if I'm like shopping and it's like an 80s song and I'm just like, yo, I forgot about this song. I need
Whips
to
out
save it
Shazam.
right now. And I don't know, like I think the first one that's coming to my mind right now is like the I wear my sunglasses at night song. I think it might be called like Sunglasses at Night. And it's like I wear my sunglasses at night. Dun, dun,
I think I know what
dun,
you're
dun.
talking about.
I
I definitely
drawn
know
a
Okay.
what song.
Okay, well anyway, so like that one
If it's not "Get Out of My Dreams, Get Into My Car," I don't want to hear it.
but like all like that I really like that set of like old music.
Mm.
I like some like older electronic music too. Like to some extent. Like some like early
Yeah.
like early house is really good.
That's, yeah, I would say
And-
electronic music is something that like the older stuff can seem outdated because of just advances in production.
Well, I would say that certain genres fall off super hard. Like if you listen to early Skrillex, like right now, like you can tell that is like dated as fuck. But if you look at somebody like Justice, which like you guys have probably heard me play like some
Stress.
Justice songs. Yeah, Stress, that's a big
I
one.
love that song so
Um,
much.
And like that's a pretty I think that's a pretty old album, at least like comparatively. And that one like holds up great, I think. Like if you release that today, like you probably wouldn't like be like, yo, this is like not good. But
Yeah.
I think a lot
Honestly-
of Skrillex wouldn't really do well right now.
I think some of the stuff that I like from like the older stuff that I like going back to is seeing the production. Like sometimes it's kind of cool how I'm not gonna say not good it is, but I'm gonna go with the word authentic. Like Led Zeppelin, Scorpions, and it's another band I listen to a lot. I'm totally blank on their name right now. But like something, or I guess even Jimi Hendrix, I've been listening to a little bit that. Like I love the airiness is kind of the way I like to think of it, and like how it's not well produced. It adds a lot of authenticity to it, and I like that a lot. Like something about that is just super cool to me. I don't know.
Well, I remember I saw the Queen movie Bohemian Rhapsody
Mhm.
when it came out in theaters, and I remember that was super interesting because they like kind of show how they like obviously it's a movie and not like a documentary or anything
Right,
about
right.
them,
It's traumatized.
but like they it's like they kind of show them writing and producing some of the music, and like there's a certain like fade in effect, so they literally had a speaker and they swung it on a rope in the studio to get this like fading left and right effect, so like moved around the microphones and stuff, and like that's super cool. Like yeah, like going along with what Gabe's saying of how like you can't just like fade it left to right on like electronically or what, like they just had to like, and I know the Beatles did the same shit, like they were kind of the pioneers of stereo music at the time, where like how like if you if you listen to the Beatles with one headphone in, you're listening to half the song, like in almost any album. So yeah, they do the same shit with that, and just trying to like make it sound exactly how they wanted, and they had to do it analog, if that makes sense,
Right. Right.
So,
Yeah.
And like it's hard to appreciate that stuff today because we're so used to it. Like if you went
Yeah.
listen to the Beatles, be like, oh yeah, this is like normal. Like you wouldn't
Well-
understand necessarily how innovative it is.
Yeah, there's definitely, I think, a trend of like overproduced albums, at least in like my genre. In the last I say my genre, the genre I'm like super interested in, like the last probably like 5 to 10 years, where like I don't know. Sometimes I like, because anybody can make music at this point, right? Like you can, if someone's got a laptop, you can more or less make music. And sometimes you hear those like early albums and they're just like super raw and like, I don't know, not produced, but that's kind of gives it a charm, I guess.
Mhm.
Like early 2000s, like metal is super fun because it's like, I feel like it hit a sweet spot there where it didn't get like super produced. And then, I don't know, you can definitely clean things up too much to where there isn't like, I'm not going to say mistakes, but there isn't any like blemishes. And I think sometimes having that makes it super cool. Like Jimi Hendrix, or the other one I was thinking of, Derek and the Dominoes, like, it's got like a weird, like you almost sound like you're a little bit further away from it than like, I don't know. It's a weird description, but I don't know. I think that's super cool.
Yeah. I was just thinking we should just make a playlist and put it in the description of all this shit we're mentioning because I don't know why we didn't do it last
I mean,
time.
we can
easily do that.
just post like playlists as well that we listen to.
Yeah. Well,
dude.
If you're listening right now, peek the description. You'll see what we came up with, but you should be able to have a quick way to access some stuff we recommend that we've been talking about. Just what about you? What have you been listening to recently?
a whole lot of weird shit. And like not like Dayton weird shit, but like just a lot of different, I don't know, I would consider it different stuff. I think I talked about it, I must have last time, where I have a playlist called Saved Discover Weekly, where I just go through my Discover Weekly, and if I like a song, I throw it on this playlist. Currently, I'm at over 21 hours worth of music on it. And I mean, the first song is from March 2018. So like I've been going at this almost 3 years now. My most recent song, I don't even think I could pronounce. I think it's pronounced Mandarin. But it's just some weird electronic shit. And then I got like some weird covers of like, well, I've got a MGMT cover. What is it called? I was playing it the other weekend and I got shit for it.
The cover of Kids?
No, it's Electric Feel.
Yeah, I like that one. I like that.
The cover or the original?
The original.
Okay, I don't know if you had like seen me listen to it or
No.
what. But this is a more like bluesy version, if that kind of makes like a more like, I don't know. It's electronic for sure, but like it's different. I think it's a good different. And like I like both versions, honestly. Or like, I don't know, a Vampire Weekend song I have on here, which they're pretty well known. Yeah, I don't know.
How do you listen to this playlist? Do you press shuffle or do you like scroll down like I'm gonna start here and listen from there?
It depends on my mood. If I'm just driving, usually I'll just hit shuffle. But I definitely have regions in it where like this like this area, like I can scroll to like added. So like for example, early 2020, I can look at the music and I know what I added there, and like okay, this was a good like. There were 3 weeks in a row that I really liked the music, and like it's I don't know, but yeah, there's like some weird like, oh, I've got a cover of Humble by Kendrick Lamar. So like I found this cover band called Scary Pockets, and they do covers and they always have a guest singer, or like so someone different is always singing the songs, but it's the same like backing band. So they have been pretty hit or miss. But when they hit, they've got a good cover of Layla originally by Eric Clapton, and that it's more like funky, I think. So yeah, I don't know. It's like a weird mix of like funky and like kind of jazzy and electronic, and
Is it similar to Scott Bradley's Postmodern Jukebox?
Like that song specifically,
Or just like their
in
kind of
general?
style of covers?
No, I wouldn't say it's that kind of style.
Not like big bandy, but like but do they like change like the genre of the song or not really?
Yeah, I would say so. Generally bring it to like a similar genre, if that makes sense.
Okay.
It's they generally, from what I haven't heard too many of them, but it's more acoustic style usually.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's kind of similar, but they do some different stuff with it. It's pretty good.
I'm
Right.
I'm a big fan of acoustic covers. The band the Griswolds, which they've had a few hits. Beware the Dog is probably their most popular song that I can think of. They have a couple cover albums that are mostly acoustic covers and fucking good. I like I really like covers like that. And as I said, I'm all in one place and just like, yeah, let's crank these out.
I'm kind of
Yeah, as
torn
far
on
as-
covers. I
Yeah.
don't know if I like them. Well, I take that
mean-
back. I take that back. So, it's more common in electronic music to do like remixes, which I would argue are like kind of like it's like the same thing but just a different like genre basically. Or and you probably preserve more of the original.
I think remixes and covers are distinctly different.
You do.
Yeah, because isn't a remix like they take the actual song and they like subtract and add and mix it up, whereas a cover it's like I'm just
It's
gonna
someone
sing
else
this song.
performing it.
Like it's not they don't use any of the previous like they don't use any samples from the previous song.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, but I mean like at the end of the day it's like you're still getting inspiration from this song and you're making it in your own way.
Sure, yeah, I don't disagree with that. I'm just saying if
I would
I
put
see
them
a
into
song,
two different boxes for sure.
yeah, they have different like feels and they have different. I mean, they're just produced differently.
Mhm. That's fair.
But-
That's fair.
But I think I agree with you to some extent. Like I'll talk about remixes. Remixes are weird because if I hear the remix, whichever version of the song I hear first, that's the one I usually end up liking. Like if I hear it's the remix of a song and I'm like, oh, this shit's good. That's the original. I'm like, this sucks. I like the remix, and vice versa. I just have bias in that, I guess. And then I guess that's maybe kind of similar with covers. For covers, it's more like who does the cover is what gets it for me, not necessarily the cover itself. If it's like a band I know, I'm familiar with doing a cover, I'm more inclined to like it than like some random person. That just kind of more speaks to how I listen to music. I'm more artist-based than anything else.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's my thing with covers is like I like to have them. Like, if you're gonna do a cover, I don't want you to like do it exactly the way they did it. I want to hear
Right.
like your I don't know, your sound, I guess, but like with I don't know, with their song, I guess. That's my thing.
I totally agree. There's a guy on YouTube, let me try to find him quick, who does genre twists. So he does like
Oh, it's like 10-second
Ale-
songs or whatever.
no. It's a guy named Alex. It's Alex something. He basically will take like a pop punk song and make it a country song, and vice versa. Or he just did like, what if Blink 182 wrote 1 Week by the Bare Naked Ladies? So it's like the same lyrics as 1 Week, but it's in the style of like Blink 182 singing it. It's really fucking good. He mostly does pop punk and country and just like either covering songs in those genres or flipping between the two. Here we go. Alex Melton is his name. Check him out. He does a lot of cool shit. Just doing pop punk and country covers of other songs. So, and that kind of shit I like a lot. The genre bending.
Yeah, there's another YouTuber. His name's 10-second songs. He'll do like, for example, he did Avenged Sevenfold's A Little Piece of Heaven in 33 styles or whatever. Like, so it's just super short bits, but it's funny because it's like a ridiculous song that he'll turn into something completely
Well,
different.
doesn't he too? He takes all the requests from like the comments. So people will say like, oh, he'll like, I don't know if he posts on his Patreon or whatever, like, this is the song I'm doing, what style? And so people will like comment on it and say like, you do all these styles.
So like he'll say I'm doing this song, and then they'll be like, do it in bluegrass or something. Like they try and like trip him up, and he's such a talented singer, and I mean producer too.
Yeah.
He just nails it. It's so funny. Like, and then he takes the top liked one and then does a full version. So he did like Never Gonna Give You Up in 20 styles, and then the one that won was like Korn, which is a new metal band from the 90s. Which is it's just a straight up fucking ridiculous song. It's so good. You gotta check out that YouTube channel. It's super fun.
That's awesome. As far as what I've been listening to lately, I've been getting a lot of songs that weren't just songs. So, i.e., like soundtracks or like stuff from games. So for example, they just put like the Persona game soundtracks on Spotify. Some of those songs fucking slap, especially Persona 5. There's some really good songs in there, so I've been listening to those. Uh, I've been listening to some Outer Wilds soundtrack. I fucking love that game. There's some great music in there. There's a bit after I played The Messenger where I wanted to listen to that soundtrack all the time because that's like heavy chip tune shit that Dayton would hate. Um, but I think it's really, really cool. It's like a mix of like, it's like chip tunes, but in the style of like heavy, like metal rock. Um, I don't know. I just think it. You played The Messenger, right? You know what I'm talking about.
I played the first hour, so I couldn't remember the soundtrack.
It's fucking good. I like it a lot. And then I've been trying to be better about if an anime, if the or outro song slaps, I just need to add it to a Spotify playlist. I'm like, this doesn't need to be confined to when I'm watching the show. I need to listen to the song more often, you know? Because like Demon Slayer got some, the intro song slaps. There's other songs in that show that are really good. Fucking Mob Psycho 100 got fantastic intro songs. And then the outro to Jujutsu Kaisen is just this funky jam that it just gets me like pumped in the morning. It's like 5 minutes. The full version is like 5 minutes long. This is by this guy named Ali, Ali, and he has a EP called Lost in Paradise. And it's just like I don't even know how to describe it. It's like funk mixed with like Spanish music, mixed with like jazz. Like it's just super like bright and energetic. And there's like English and Japanese, and I think Spanish is in there too, of people like singing or rapping. It's just fucking hype as fuck. So I'd recommend that EP. But yeah, but I've been liking music that's like yeah part of soundtracks or games and stuff lately, and just trying to grab those. And then as far as some artists, I recently found this guy. So I thought it was pronounced CLN because that's all his name is. It's just CLN. And then Dayton told me it's pronounced Colin. And EDM artists don't like to use vowels in their name. I'm like,
EDM artists, dude, vowels are their fucking kryptonite. They're like, oh, you're using a U? I'm gonna use a V here. Oh, you want an A here? I'm just gonna subtract that.
like it's like how the fuck am I supposed to know that?
That's
You know?
so obnoxious.
Dude,
Actually. Like,
dude, and what's even more confusing is sometimes instead of an A, they'll use a V. Like
fuck.
so it's supposed to be upside down or something.
Yeah, like I'm just like,
That's
what
fucking
is
stupid.
even going on here? And a lot of the like, there was an artist that I was listening to today. I don't know how to pronounce their name. It's literally IL colon LO. What? Like, what am I supposed to say there? Like illo, ill colon low? Like I don't know.
Like that's just like for the sake of being like edgy, but like if no one can pronounce your name, that's gonna ruin your discoverability. It's like,
Yeah.
oh, check out this new artist. His name is never mind, I can't pronounce it, you know?
Yeah.
Well, that's what Prince did. I mean, he was pretty famous by then, but he changed
Wait,
his name.
how did he spell his name?
He changed his name to a symbol that had no pronunciation in English. So when they'd play him on the radio, they just said the artist formerly known as Prince.
Oh,
Because there was
right.
no way to pronounce it. You know that
Okay,
like
yeah, I
symbol
know,
that he has?
I don't remember this.
Had.
Actually, I didn't even know that. I knew like the formerly known as Prince. I've heard that before. I didn't know why that came
Yeah.
about. So
You're fucking
that's
from
kind of cool.
Minnesota. You should know that.
I'm too young for this shit. All right.
I'm just
Anyway.
as old as you are.
Anyway, this guy Colin, fucking love him. He makes like I've been getting really into this like chill electronic music. So like kind of like Lito's most recent album, Petter. I've just
You
been
should
really
listen to that chill wave
Maybe I
playlist
should.
have. It fucks.
Yeah, I really like chill electronic music, and Colin just nails it. Like all of his shit is just a very distinct vibe. And when I'm just like trying to relax, it's just like yeah, this shit feels right, you know.
Mhm.
That's what I kind of want to transition to talking to you guys about of kind of like when are you pulling up your phone to play Spotify these days? Like when you listen to music, and then what's informing your choice? Like why do you select on whatever you select on? I'll go to Gabe first.
Oh man. I guess definitely. I mean, within the last year, it's been mostly for work. The main room that I work in is like a big, open space with a lot of servers, so it's fucking loud. so it's like a lot of fans going on. So I usually, if I'm ever out there, I'll have music on at any point in time. So I mean, I'm trying to think. I think I did like, I don't think I had. What did you have? 90,000 minutes last year, Dayton?
Yeah, a little.
Yeah, so I had
Something like that.
60,000. So not a ton, but I definitely listen like during work most of the time, driving anytime. I can't drive in silence. It's fucking crazy. Psychopath shit.
Mm-hmm.
And it's almost always like I'll just like, I still do albums. That's what I said probably 2 years ago, but I'll pick an album that I really like, or like I'll try and get into an artist. Because I've noticed that I definitely like, what's the word? I feel like sometimes I'm impatient with music where like I'll listen to an album once and be like, this isn't for me. But I've noticed there's been two or three artists that I've come back to, like Tool, Mastodon, and Seven Dust, where I've came back and I'm like, oh, these shit, they fuck. So I go back and listen to them. So it's usually just work. What's so fucking funny?
You couldn't fucking decide on what fucking version you wanted to say.
I was between slap and fuck. I was between slap and fuck.
This shit fucks.
This sounded like you were trying to force it so hard.
I guess I was. Yeah, so it's mostly just during work, and it's almost always like I'll hop album to album. And as far as mood, I guess if I'm feeling a little stressed, sometimes I listen to calmer music, but usually I just listen to like fast, heavier stuff. If I need to focus up. Yeah.
Right. Do you find, because I've been finding I'm doing this more and more lately, I've just been running shit into the ground. Like I'll find something new that I like and then just listen to it constantly, and then I get sick of it and I have to move on, which like kind of sucks, but also it's like I like it, so I want to keep listening to it.
My method is I find like usually it's 3 albums, sometimes 4 that I really like, and I listen to them on rotation for months, and then they eventually drop off and new ones get added until like I fucking can't stand it. And then there's a little revival phase a couple months later. It's like, oh, that album's great. Like I forgot how good that is, and then I listen to it for like another week. But yeah.
I'm pretty similar. I've been worse about it lately though, because I was looking at my Spotify Wrapped playlist, like your top songs, and I went back and looked at 2018, 2019, 2020, and 2018 way more varied than 2019, which is more varied in 2020. 2020 has very few artists. So I just ran shit into the ground, and like it just kept listening. But it's like I said, it feels kind of bad when like you get to the point where like I'm sick of this, but also like I said, like if you're just in the mood for something, like I just want to hear it, just give it to me. And
it's like there's billions of songs, and it's just like I want to listen to the same 10 again. And
it's like maybe I'll rediscover it in 6 months, and I'll be like, oh yeah, this song, and be like, all right, this is cool to find it again. But
exactly.
Just what about you?
I've noticed since I've graduated, I've been listening to a lot less music. I like at school, anytime I was at my computer, turn on Spotify. So like, doing homework or, just fucking around or whatever. I'd always listen to music. But since I've graduated, I just haven't been at my computer nearly as much. Even when I'm working from home, which is fairly infrequent, or when I'm at work, I should say, I can't listen to music when I'm working, at least with headphones. If I have headphones in, I will focus on the music. If I have speakers playing, it's fine. I can like tune it out and like it's good background noise. But for whatever reason, headphones, it's just, and I have like wireless earbuds too, so it's like pounding it directly into my eardrums. So like I just cannot focus on like the work or whatever. So it's basically I listen to music when I'm driving and if I'm like cooking or doing something at the house, right? So like I used to be really into albums, like Gabe said, but it's a lot. I don't know. I shouldn't say I don't care anymore, but like queuing up an album and listening to half of it isn't satisfying. It's not like enjoyable. If I'm gonna listen to 4 songs, I'll just shuffle a playlist, right. And whatever. So like when I drive, and like driving too, same thing. It's like I'm just gonna, especially in the mornings, hit play or hit shuffle and go to work. On the way home from work, sometimes I'll pick an album if I'm like feeling it. But recently I've been feeling this band called Pigeons Playing Ping Pong.
Like them for a
No,
while. I remember them back at the apartment.
yeah, and it's been coming back in droves. But all their albums start with the letter P too. They're really nailing this fucking alliteration shit. They got Presto, Pizzazz, Pleasure, and Psychology. Psychology's their first one, so I can kind of give them a pass on like it's not really alliteration,
Right,
but
right.
um, but yeah, I've been really enjoying them. It's like driving, and they're like really funky. I don't know, like funky guitar and bass and shit. I don't know. It's good driving like Friday after work, driving home. Like fucking go, you know.
I like that.
Those are
I
the most.
I totally agree with you. And like, if I don't have time to listen to the full album, I'm not even gonna start it.
Yeah,
I'm just gonna get annoyed that I
Yeah.
couldn't finish it.
yeah. So I've been mostly just chugging through my Discover Weekly and adding music to my playlist slowly but surely. So yeah, it's a lot of. Every once in a while, I'll like go through and like, okay, I really like this song on my Discover Weekly, so I'll click on their artist and like, I click on that artist and like listen to like an album or whatever from there and see, how much I like them. Because I've noticed a couple times it's like, okay, there's this song I like, and I listen to the full album. It's like I hate the entire rest of this album. I shouldn't say I hate, but
Mm-hmm.
like a good example is I have this Glass Animals song on my playlist, and this is probably one of my top 5 songs that I like to listen to. It's called Season 2, Episode 3, because it's the third song on their second album, and I think the name alone is pretty creative for that reason. And it's just a bunch of garbage lyrics and like funky beats, right? I'm not a big fan of the rest of the album. It's fine. Like I'll listen to it every once in a while, but like, not really for me. And even their most recent album, not really for me. But like that song alone, I love it. And
Dude,
like I know a lot of people that like Glass Animals kind of blew up this last year too.
Yeah, they were blowing up, and I was laughing because I have the same exact feeling with Glass Animals. Because
Me too.
with Dreamland, their latest album, I've listened to it. And I'm like, you know what? Let's be honest. I only like 5 songs in this thing, so I'm just gonna pick those out and put those on a playlist in a row, and I'm just gonna scrap the rest of this shit because I don't need to listen to this entire album because it's just not enjoyable. Like I just want these 5 songs. Get the
Yeah,
rest
like
out
there
of
were
here.
a couple that I enjoyed, but like the first song I heard was Season 2, Episode 3, which is like I don't know how familiar you guys are with it, but it's like pretty like it's like a weird like sampled music or song, like I don't know. And the rest of it, I don't know. It's not like some of their other songs just it's I was expecting them to have a different sound based on this song, and so I was
Right,
really
right.
disappointed when like that's not how their sound is throughout.
Yeah,
It's, I guess, my main point with them. But
Dayton, you're in the same boat.
Yeah, I think their only song of theirs that I like is Ooey Gooey.
Yeah, that's like their first like breakout song. Right?
Yeah, I think that's the only song of theirs that I like. I've tried listening to like all their other albums, and I'm just like, nah, don't need them.
Yeah, no, I checked them out this year because everyone was like talking about them, and there was on a ton of people Spotify Wrapped, and I'm like, okay, I'll try them, and like, yeah, like, they're fine. And like I said, I like a few of their songs, but I'm not clicking on Dreamland every day or any other stuff. But
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just not doing it for me.
yeah,
I also found this other band called Ceramic Animal, and I don't know, it's a very similar. I only know one song, and it's a kind of similar song, and so it's just funny to me that I've got Glass Animals and Ceramic Animal.
did they pick that name because of Glass Animals? Like, is it like Zed's Dead, where like they picked their name based on another artist?
I don't know. I have the artist pulled up. It said they met in like 2016, or their first album was in 2016. I don't know when Glass
So
Animals
maybe.
started.
Yeah.
Could be the other way around too.
That's funny though.
But yeah.
And Dane, you said before you're mostly listening to stuff when you're working, right?
Yeah, except I mean, like when I'm not working, I listen to music like the same way. Like if I'm feeling an album, then I'll play the entire album. If I'm feeling, a playlist, I'll play the playlist. Like I don't discriminate. I listen to both ways equally.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then like when I play it,
Nice both ways.
when I play music in the car, it basically just auto plays what was last listened to on my phone. Uh, so I don't really ever queue up anything unless I'm like going on like a trip longer than like just around town, which is pretty rare.
Yeah. For me, whenever I open my phone, it's a decision every day, podcast or music, and it's been leaning more towards, well, for a while it was leaning heavily towards podcasts. Right now it's been leaning a little bit more towards music, but I don't remember how many minutes I had on my Spotify Wrapped. I couldn't find it, but it's way less than you guys. It was probably closer to like 30,000 minutes, just
Gotta
because I
bump those numbers up. Those are rookie
well, half the
numbers.
time I listen to podcasts, I always have a backlog, and like the reason I listen to music or I pick certain music or listen to podcasts these days, it's not even for the content anymore. It's just the vibe. Like I just need to hear a certain sound. Like when I open my podcast app, it's like it's not even like what's this podcast about. It's like I want to hear this person's voice or this person's voice, you know? It's like I don't even care what they're talking about. I'm just in the mood to hear this person's voice. And it's the same with music. Like I'm with Joseph, like after I graduated, like I've been leaning away from albums, even away from like I don't really care about lyrics as much anymore. I just care about like the sound and just how the song kind of makes me feel, and either verifying the emotional state I'm in or slightly changing it. Um, so yeah, I've just been like I mentioned just before, like I've been picking like bits of albums or songs and just putting those together on the playlist and like listening to that. Just like okay, here's what I'm driving into the ground right now of the songs I really like. Um, I've also been using the Spotify daily mixes a lot. I think they do a pretty good job of like organizing artists you like into kind of groups, like genre groups. Um, and it, changes every day. So that's a good way to kind of just like, okay, I just need to drive. I need 3 songs. I'll throw this on. Um, but yeah, and if I'm like in the morning and I need to get energized, I'll listen to a more energetic song. Or if I'm trying to relax at night, it's more chill. So I've been leaning to the vibes. But I will say, whenever I go for a run, it's big booty mix all day, every day, because that shit gets me going. It makes me go faster. Gabe knows what I'm talking about. You get that high BPM music, and it makes you run fast.
Dude,
Oh,
Big
yeah.
Booty Mix fucks.
Dude, it does.
I have a playlist that I found that's like only 150 BPM and higher or something, and I mean, those songs aren't even like songs anymore. They're running songs. Like they're so baked into like my mind of I'm running right now
Right,
at this
right.
point. I gotta find something else because it's only like 30 songs. So I've heard them all.
Big booty mix, Gabe.
I don't know, man. Maybe if I'm trying to run away from it.
I finally figured out on my phone to get it so I can just cycle between like booty mix 12 through 18. They just like cycle through all those over and over again, and yeah, never gets old, baby. It's good shit. Yeah. Any other recommendations you guys want to shout out before we go? And like I said, we'll make some sort of playlist for you guys to click on. But any specific artists or songs or bands?
I wanna shout out a Spotify playlist called
Okay.
Indie Pop 2010s.
I've been watching you listen to that.
Mhm.
I think I followed it. It's pretty good.
Dude, it is a solid. It's like I mean, I would say it's probably for people our age and like, plus minus a few years, just because it's from like popular songs from when we were like in high school or so. But a lot of very good songs. And I feel like that's a genre where you can put it on with like most people and nobody will have like any qualms about it.
Right. Pretty inoffensive.
It's
Joseph, what about
funny.
you?
Oh, I was just gonna go off the playlist that Dayton mentioned. The second song on that playlist is a song I had found in my Discover Weekly and I'd never heard before. So I was like, okay, I can fuck with this shit. It's like Sweater Weather and then Coast Modern. I don't know if any of you guys have. I mean, Dayton might have heard of it because it's on the playlist, but Coast Modern I've gotten to really enjoy, and that was a song on there. And so yeah, I don't know if I had to shout out a specific song. Okay, you got to ignore the name of the song for a second.
This is Joseph we're talking about. He has weird music.
I
Don't
got
worry
really
about the
weird
name.
music, and I want to find it so I make sure I don't fuck it up. But I want to say the artist is Manatee, and I have it on my playlist. Fuck, just had it. It's right or probably lower. This is such a long playlist. I don't know where anything is anymore. Oh, Manatee Commune is the
Commune?
commune. It's probably commune.
Yeah.
It's two M's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Manatee Commune. The song name is Blueberry, so you gotta just
Oh my
push that to the
gosh.
side. But Dayton, I think you would like this, Dayton. It's got very minimal lyrics, and it's like it's not. I wouldn't even say it's lyrics. It's like sampled voices.
Uh-huh.
But it's like a very like I can't. It's so hard to describe other than it bounces around.
Okay.
Like the song, like it just
I
like
can see myself liking that already.
I don't know. It just bounces around. I want to link it. It's a fun song. It's good if you want to like kind of bop your head, and if you want to just like kind of chill a little bit. It's a good, either one works. So yeah, I don't really have anything else to shout out, but yeah, other than my
Blueberry by
massive,
Manatee Commune.
other than massive, what is it? 21-hour playlist. It's public, so if you follow me, you can listen to it. But I got a plan. Once I hit 24 hours of music on this, and I'm slowly like deleting stuff off it too, as I'm not like as it's like stuff I listened to 2-3 years ago. I'm not a huge fan of anymore. But anyway, I'm gonna rename it to "And on the 8th day God created jams," because it's a full day of music.
I like that.
Pretty funny. So
I'm a big fan of cheeky playlist names. One of mine is Hot Singles in Your Area. I was pretty happy about that. Gabe, what do you want to shout out?
Oh man. I mean, I'm just gonna do albums, not specific songs.
Okay.
Black Sabbath's Master of Reality. It's not that long. It's like 35 minutes. Every single one of those songs is fucking great and timeless. Holds up super well. If you want to get into some weird proggy metal shit,
Prague.
you gotta go Tool's Lateralis. The whole thing fucking bops. They have a song that follows the Fibonacci sequence just because they fucking can.
Bro, wait, you listen to Tool?
It'll make you really smart. And then Mastodon's Leviathan. Like I already mentioned that earlier, that if you guys are in any form of metal, I would definitely recommend checking that out. It's that concept about based off of Moby Dick, but absolutely savage, fucking crunchy. You get the great guitar tone that's like, ooh, you got some great singing in there, and it's just mixed super well. Everything's so catchy. So those are my top 3.
Gabe, is Tool like the Rick and Morty of metal music, where like
kinda,
the
yeah.
fans are really cringy and they're like, dude, this is the cleverest shit out there, and everyone's like, you're being annoying, even though it might actually be very good.
That's exactly how I would describe it. There's like a whole subreddit I found called Tool Jerk, and that's the whole bit as like, oh, I'm super smart and I get it, and it's like Fibonacci sequence, and I don't know. It's there's definitely people who are like, oh, you don't get it, man, and it's just it's actually good music. It's just it has cringy.
The fan base is annoying.
Yeah,
I don't know, Gabe. That's
cringy.
2 fan bases that you're into that are like that.
Oh my god.
I think one more.
I'm not that obnoxious about it.
We might have to write you off. I don't know.
Oh in a fucking real life podcast, you're gonna like write my character off.
Gabe
just
got
saying.
hit by a truck off screen.
I think
We're
that's
sorry.
a death threat. I think it's a death threat.
I'm gonna give a weird recommendation, and Joseph will back me up on this because I know he likes this album too. This is an album from a band that everyone knows, but I feel like their first album is extremely underappreciated, unknown, I dare say. I'm talking about Aim and Ignite by Fun.
Oh,
Okay.
fuck! I love that album.
This album it fucks, okay?
Oh my
and
gosh.
everyone knows Fun from We Are Young, right? That was like
Fuck
a
that
massive
song.
pop song. Honestly, listening to their second album after listening to their first one makes me cry because their first album is so musically creative and complex. Like, if you really like intently do it, there's like the shit they do is like super creative. Then you get to We Are Young, and it's like the most like sellout pop song, super bland, super generic.
There's another song on fucking We Are Young, the album.
That whole album is very generic.
There's a couple good songs on there. Like the
Sure.
I don't have it in front of me, but there's like the shit. I don't know. but there's one that I specifically hate with a passion,
Some
and
nights.
it's called "It Gets Better."
Oh, that song
And
fucking sucks.
it is their worst song. It's like, yes, it gets better because this is the bottom of the barrel of their music.
But it's like that's the only lyric in the entire song. Is he repeating it over and over again? It's just
Yeah.
like, but okay, put that aside. Their first album, I'm telling you, AM Ignite, is actually super fucking good, super creative.
Fuck, man, I love
Just
the
a great,
song.
just a great time. So go. It's from was it 2009? Just go back and listen to it. I promise you, you will not be disappointed. So many great songs on that album. But yeah,
There's not a bad song on this album.
no. Thanks for listening, everyone. Yeah, look in the description. You'll find some treats in there if you want to listen to any of the stuff we talked about today. But yeah, find our show on Mondays on YouTube and podcast services. Follow us on Instagram at ewf podcast, and go ahead and follow us on Twitch, please. Please do it, and come watch us on Monday nights as we're gamers, we're gaming, we're playing Deep Rock Galactic, we're mining and shooting shit. It's a good time. We're actually like cooperating instead of killing each other, you know, which is kind of rare to see.
Come talk
Yeah.
some shit about us.
Yeah, come make fun of us on stream. It's a good time. But yeah, thank you for listening, and we'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.
See ya.